Welcome to Inside the Firm, a podcast dedicated to small business owners and hosted by entrepreneurs, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko. Each week, they take you on their journey of how to start, run, and grow a business by bringing you inside their architecture and real estate development firm. Get a behind-the-scenes tour of how these business leaders manage their clients and foster company culture while creating new and innovative projects. And now your hosts, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko.
Welcome to another edition of Inside the Firm. I'm here with Lance Patience Cayko.
Wow.
There was another nickname like 2 or 3 days ago. Do you remember? You were teasing me.
That you had for you.
What was it?
It was for you. I can't remember, though.
We'll have to write them down. I'm just Alex Gore today, and we're here to bring you architecture, construction, and business-related news. And part of that news is to extend your business so that you can keep afloat. Go to architectsguide2.com, architectsguide2.com, where you can learn how to extend your projects to be the construction manager, the GC for those projects, so that you have a bigger, better boat full of money to ride through this next recession.
Yeah, one of my friends just posted on the Facebook that the yield curve is inverted, and so that's not usually a good sign. That usually is an indicator of an upcoming recession. So you might want to extend your lifeblood, which is money, which is work, through architectsguide2.com. And you also want to be super lean, right? You need to be as efficient as possible, especially if we end up in another race to the bottom with fees and a deep recession. And what's going to help you do that is ArcCat.com. With project conditions changing and limited time to get things done, it's good to have information at your fingertips. ArcCat.com provides architects, engineers, spec writers, and contractors with the most comprehensive libraries of building product content and design so you can access it quickly and efficiently. Even better, ArcCat.com is free to use and requires no registration, so visit today and access the information you need now. Last but certainly not least, you need to go check out PellaLuxury.com/the firm, especially if you put on that builder's hat with ArchitectsGuide2.com. New Pella Luxury is a world-class collection of brands brought together to provide window-indoor solutions to the building industry and beyond. Duratherm and Riley are the true pioneers of industry. They are doing what no one else has done, building and designing beyond the status quo. These brands do not push beyond the limits. They set them. Explore PellaLuxury.com/the firm today. That's PellaLuxury.com/the firm today. Back to me, Al.
Back to you. So, how do you level up your firm with 3D scanning, and what have we done? Because I remember we've been looking at it for years, and scanners were normally $20,000 to $50,000.
$25,000 to $50,000 is what we were looking at last year to do laser scanning and LiDAR scanning, which so for everybody who doesn't know what that is basically you have this machine. I would try to explain this as simply as possible. You have a machine that is like a camera, and it takes it shoots out a laser, and then it pings back readings from the laser, and then produces a point cloud, which is also a 3D photograph. And then you walk around with that on a tripod, and then you have a iPad that then connects to the scanner, and then it locates all of the points you've scanned for it.
Yep. It's like sonar, but with light beams, laser beams, rather than sound.
Yep. And for us, this was a huge level up because we used to do what other folks would do, which is totally normal, is we'd have just your classic handheld laser measuring tape, and then traditional measuring tapes, sketches, and you would try to piecemeal after doing a site visit for a whole day on like a big house or a little building, and try to have all that information, and then you turn that into your existing conditions model.
It's brutal.
It was brutal. Staff was getting burnt out on it, and then we have one of our most wonderful associates, Rebecca Warner, who joined the team a couple years ago, and she helped us level up by just pushing us in that direction. We were renting them for a while.
Yes.
The costs for that were between $1,200 and maybe $2,500. And it worked for us. We raised fees and all of that. But the logistics was really the issue of getting the scanner here on time. Sometimes it wouldn't show up on time. Then we'd have to adjust schedules. Sometimes one time they lost the scanner.
Yeah.
When we were sending
FedEx
it back.
or whoever
FedEx.
it
Wasn't us. So like the shipping company, obviously. So that was an issue. And then at the end of the day, we talked about it last year about buying one. Alex already mentioned it's $25,000 to $50,000. Like, it's a huge investment. Could we afford it? Probably. Should we afford it that way? No. Yeah. And so, but thankfully, the technology keeps increasing at this very rapid pace, and we found an affordable solution. So we want to share that with all of you. Al, you're going to say something?
Yeah, can I tell why it's so important? Do you remember from a couple...
I don't even know if I answered the question. I just wanted to at least give everybody a reason, like, what led us to this?
Yes. So why it's so important is, remember a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, we did an overview, a breakdown of what work is coming from, and over 50% of it was remodels or additions.
Yeah.
Even on the bigger commercial side too. Like, so like this is half your work.
Yeah. Oh, yes, through the AIA survey, too.
Yes.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, they're just proving it true. Yeah, 100%. That new builds, there's still going to be new builds, but, like, adapting and reusing existing buildings with a dwindling population in the United States.
And with everything that's already built.
That's going to happen. Yeah. So what really pushed us to, we were going to do this episode, we've been thinking about doing it, and but what really pushed us over, we got a wonderful email from one of our listeners, Jeremy Metz, and he says, Al, I heard you guys talking about the impact of your laser scanner for as-builts. We have looked around, and it seems like they are very expensive. Wondering which one you guys got, where you purchased it. Once you scan the building, what is your process to get it into Revit? Appreciate any advice, and Merry Christmas to you guys. Merry Christmas to you, Jeremy. We say Merry Christmas here. Yep. What I've got put together for Jeremy and everybody else is, I'm going to pull it up on the screen here 1 second.
Let's start with what we got.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to get oriented. So up on my screen, what I've got pulled up for everybody is, if you're watching on YouTube, probably very important to maybe do it that way. You could also write it down. If you're driving, please pull over. So let's start with the scanner. This was the big tipping point for us. Like the tripod, obviously, that I'll show you, the iPad, and then I also got an iPad holder. I should probably pull that up at some point. Rebecca requested that. It just came in this week. And then there's a little mounting kit. But the biggest cost, obviously, is the scanner.
Yep. And the price for that is
$5,995.
$6,000.
$6,000. It's a Matterport Pro 3. It says fastest 3D LiDAR scanner digital camera for creating professional 3D virtual tour experiences with 360 views and 4K photography indoor and outdoor spaces with trusted accuracy. They also have a Pro 3 acceleration bundle, so if you look at the Amazon thing, like if you just go to this camera, there's a bunch of other options you have. We didn't get the acceleration kit. We just got the camera itself. And then with that, a couple other things we got. And what pointed us to this was Richard Sanford, longtime listener. I think he's even been on the show. And then also he does his own podcast. He, in the Entre Architect group, was mentioned this. So Rebecca and him got to talking. And the reason why we also did it through Amazon, there was somebody else in the Entre Architect community after I made a big post about that with all the links, by the way. So if you just search Lance, Cayko, in that Entre Architect community on Facebook, you'll be able to find the post I made, and it has all these links to this product. Somebody brought up, they were like, yeah, I got the same thing on Alibaba for like $600. Okay, go do that if you want to. Like, I'm not an Alibaba shopper. Al probably knows Baba more than me.
I do, but I just...
What I've heard about Alibaba is it's literally stolen products that they're reselling.
Oh, wow.
Just my take. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. So we went with this because I wanted to make sure that we basically wanted to do it as a test, right? Because then you can return it. So like if we bought it today, we could return it in 6 weeks. So that was the biggest thing I wanted. I just wanted some reassurance. And then we also got the accident plan with it, the 3-year protection plan, just in case something breaks.
Yep.
I wanted like some insurance for this whole thing. Second thing we bought was this. It's called the Desmond DAC-60 60mm QR clamp, 3/8 with 1/4 inch adapter. Blah blah blah.
It's a leveler.
It's a it's a leveler. It's a tripod, quick release, little gizmo. $25. Then the next thing was we bought a Manfrotto 190X aluminum 3-section tripod. The code is MT190 X3, $180.
Yep.
And then one of the last things we bought was a 2012 Apple 11-inch iPad Pro Wi-Fi with 256 gigabytes.
And 2022, not 2012.
I'm sorry, 2022 Apple 11 inch iPad Pro. Yeah,
Space gray.
yeah,
Necessary.
and it's
else it
got
won't
256 gigabytes. We went to the specs for what this scanner called for memory wise. If you went above and went to 512, that'd be fine. I wouldn't go lower than 256. You might have a giant scan because it takes all of that information, obviously, and puts it on the iPad. Right?
Just a technical question. Did you order the iPad from Amazon or from Apple?
Amazon. Everything from Amazon. Go Jeff Bezos. Last thing we got was a Mi Shirk iPad Pro 11-inch case for 2012 iPad Pro 11. Blah blah blah. $26. Rebecca and I were just in Austin last Friday, and we brought the scanner with us. It worked as a perfect carry-on for her. She just put it in a backpack.
Yep.
And then she had the tripod in her hand. Nobody cared. We were a little bit worried that they were going to give us guff. They didn't. But one thing we noticed right away is she goes like, "Can we get a case for this?" Yeah. And the one we got was
For the iPad.
yeah, for the iPad, so the iPad doesn't come with a nice case. The one I got, like you'll see if you're looking on YouTube again, is you can hold it by your hand, and that's what's necessary. Like it straps in to make it happen.
Yep.
The building we scanned was like, I bet maybe 1,500 square feet, and it took Rebecca about 90 minutes to do it.
Yep.
The difference with this scanner, the biggest thing that Rebecca reports from using the $20,000 plus ones is the $20,000 plus ones take longer to do an individual scan, but it scans deeper, and you can do less scans with it. This one scans faster, like 2 or 3 times faster, less data. You have to do more scans. So it's a wash in terms of time.
And then the size of this, just to let you know, if you started a firm 10 years ago and stored your own file on a Seagate, it's kind of like that big. It's
like
about
a external hard drive.
Yep,
yeah.
3 inches wide, probably about 8 inches tall, probably about 8 inches deep, long. So it's not that big. So you can put it in a backpack. Everything but the tripod you could put in a backpack, and that's what we made. We made a scanning kit.
Yeah, I was hoping that's a good question about the sizes of it. I'm looking. They don't really.
Do
they have it here, Al?
No,
they don't. It's small.
it's no big deal.
It's like
cool
your
looking.
old school external hard drive. That's a perfect analogy for it. Yeah.
Yep.
Then the question to us was, okay, what's the process looks like? So now on the screen, what I've got pulled up, one of the things we challenged Rebecca to do, and which she did wonderfully, was she put together a workflow for us because we want to get everybody in staff trained and knowing how to do it. So I'm just going to walk through it real quick.
One other thing on price. So remember, it used to cost us over $1,000 each time to do this before. Okay.
That was just for the rental.
Yep. Pretend that this is $6,000, right? Let's say you only use it one time every month, right? And let's say you skip a few months. It's about $600 a month, right? Plus, you have to have a Matterport subscription, and I think it's $180. So now you're at $800 per scan. That's 10 in a year. We're probably doing double that.
We're probably doing a couple dozen at least.
Yep.
Probably up to 3 dozen, I would say, is where we probably land on a high side. There's also a little subscription. So that's all the hard costs. One of the soft costs is you will have to get a Matterport subscription.
That's what I mentioned.
Yeah. So just be aware of that, right? It's not bad. But you said 800 is $80.
No. Oh, I said 180. It's only 80.
You're right. It's 180.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just want to make sure. So there's that soft thing. But like I said, so this is how we do it, right? It's so starting at the top. Number 1, set up tripod, pull all the legs out, adjust to its tallest height, attach tripod mount. Like she made it very, very clear, obviously. Then number 2, set up the camera. Pull on red tab to lift camera out, insert the battery. mount the camera on the tripod, turn it on. If you're watching on YouTube, it's more detailed than this, right? And then she logs into the Matterport app on her iPad that she's using.
Yep.
And then we have our own. I blocked out. If you're watching on YouTube, obviously we have our own email for that and our own password. Then you connect the camera to the iPad after you've logged into Matterport. There's an iPad password and iPad iCloud information. So we also had to upgrade the iPad to have its own storage on the iCloud. And then confirm ready to pair it, make sure Bluetooth is turned on the iPad. And then in the app, open a new project, click on the new job button, tap source selector. Again, this is more detailed. Check the connection. When it's connected, the connected symbol will appear. Looks like an iPad with Wi-Fi symbol. Number 5, start scanning. So, Rebecca will place the scanner in the first location, press the scan from the iPad, and then the scanner will scan. And then some of the best scanning practices are take a few steps from the previous scan set, scanner down, or do another only a few feet away. Keep all the doors open, interior and external, when passing through rooms, because the scanner needs to find where you last scanned so that it connects the cloud together. Yeah. Make sure to scan each side of a door, threshold, or opening. Make sure the scanner is level. Make sure each scan can see the previous, like I just said. One thing to note, and Rebecca talked to me about this when we were in Austin. Crawl space and attic space need to be at an angle since the scanner does not scan directly above or below. What we were doing to get from floor to floor. Here's the analogy I'd make. From floor to floor, you can just keep going up the steps.
Sure.
That's going to be a tedious way for you to get there, but necessary. Imagine I move up the steps. I move from the floor to the steps. Okay, I'm going to have to adjust the camera legs, make sure it's level, and I should be able to just keep going from there.
Yep. Right?
Rather than just...
But how many times, if you have a flight of steps, are you going twice in those flights of steps?
I think just a few steps up each time.
Okay.
Yep. Because it has trouble. Here's why. Only a few steps up each time because the scanner that we got doesn't scan as deep below itself, eye height wise. And then up wise is same thing. It's sort of it only does so much.
Yep.
So how that relates to an attic or a crawl space is you might not have steps up to the crawl space. So if you don't have somebody there helping you, one thing you might want to do is just bring a little step ladder so you can put the scanner and recreate the idea of steps going up or down.
Nice.
Just a little pro tip. Number 7, create levels. Create levels if necessary, and then she goes into how to do that. You select the icon, et cetera, et cetera. Once the levels are created, click on the one you want to start scanning and start scanning. I think it would be best practice you start the level, you make the levels before you start scanning.
Yeah.
And then assign where you're scanning to that level where you start at. If you want to,
there's pictures in this. Yeah.
Yep. There's pictures we have of how all this works. If you want to change the floor level of the already processed scan, once the scan is complete, click on the completed scan. Again, more details. Window and mirror callouts are pretty critical. So because it can mistake windows versus mirrors, that's an issue. So windows and mirrors need to be identified on the scans as soon as they appear in your scan. You'll click on this little symbol, and then you can choose from windows and doors and trim and all that kind of stuff. Again, there's a lot more detailed photos here with our kind of how-to guide. A trim tool. This tool is removing any extra spray of the 3D data intended for outdoor scans. So if you only want part of a room or deleting a spray outside of windows, etc., she kind of shows how that works too.
So you can scan outside.
Yeah.
And let's say you're taking a corner of the house because you're going around it and it goes way too far and you don't need that. You can trim it in just like a cropping a view.
Yep. Number 10, upload your project. So once you're completely done with scanning your project and connected to a strong Wi-Fi, typically back at your office, she says, click on the upload button at the top right of the screen. I would also have your machines plugged in at this point. Think about when you have to, you get the software update from your iPhone. You either have to have 50% plus battery in order to do it. I just did it last night, so I'm mentioning it. Or you have to have it plugged in. Just do that as best practice. So then you click on the upload button, top right of the screen. This uploads the project to the Matterport portal, which you already have logged into. it's the same login, right? And then whatever your account is. And then to back out of the project, hit the top left arrow, and then your project is saved. Number 11, obviously, turn off the scanner, take out the battery, put away. And then number 12, request for an E57 file. So Matterport processes the file for you, which also is a huge time saver. So Rebecca was doing it manually before.
Yeah, on those.
Huge time suck. So the $180 is completely worth it they process it all. It's just like way worth it.
I thought you said 80.
Well, maybe it is 80. I don't know why you said 180. I'm pretty sure it's only $80.
Yeah.
So you put a request for an E57 file. Once the file is done processing, log into your account on Matterport again. Select the spaces.
I love how they couldn't rename that.
Yep, it's so weird.
They're like,
Yep, and then it goes through again how you request that whole thing in more detail. Then you convert the E57 to an RCP file. You open the recap, start a new project, import the point cloud. So basically, open recap, you start a new project in Revit, import the point, you open recap, which is a different software, start a new project, import the point cloud into that software, name the project, save to a new folder on the desktop. We recommend doing it to desktop because the writing of it will be much faster. And we use Dropbox. It's just a nightmare to do a big file like this. Then you select to import your E57 cloud file from your desktop, and then clean up and recap. Rebecca has a Zoom video that she put together for this. But I'm just giving you the general gist. Like, I'm sure if you have a Matterport account, there's going to be some customer service you can deal with.
Sure.
And then number 14, then you finally import the RCP file into Revit. Under your space in Matterport, on the space tab, she says you can do a walk through the space through photos to refer to when modeling in Revit, which is fantastic. And then you import the cloud through the import tab, point cloud, and then you start modeling based on the point cloud. You get super highly accurate as-built, incredibly accurate. And then it saves you from having to go back out to the site. You can always refer back to the 3D photographs. Our engineers have loved that part of it. Saves them a trip. We can just dissect and see exactly what was going on. It's hard to take all those notes. And that's our process. So for us, it's been working phenomenally. I have nothing but good stuff to say about it. And so if that helps, if you guys, I'd be happy to also, if somebody, if they really want to see that PDF that we put together for it, I'd be happy to send that over to you guys. It's no big deal on our end. And then maybe even a link to the Zoom file. So we're just here to help.
Copy that. I have a piece of news for everyone. This is an article from Yahoo Finance. It is Morgan Stanley warns that housing affordability is deteriorating faster than at any point in its data's history. And that's what I want to talk about it. The clickbait rest of that title is, here are 2 easy ways to buck this worrisome trend. They didn't give 2, they gave 1, and it wasn't for housing affordability whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what that title is all about. Anyways, here we go. Real estate isn't a complex asset class. Prices. Oh, you want me to?
I've got it up. Go ahead. I'll just follow along to you.
Yep. Go under housing market dynamics. Keep going, Lance. Yep. There we go. Real estate isn't a complex asset class. Prices are driven by 3 factors: mortgage rates, income, and inventory. That's it. Utterly true. The reason housing dynamics are skewed right now is that one factor has changed rapidly, which is the mortgage rates, while the other haven't budged as much. The average 30-year mortgage rate in October 2021 was roughly 3%. In October 2022, the average rate was 6.66. I think it's at like 6.2 right now, but essentially more than double. The swing in interest rate has certainly began to cool demand in the market, with sales of existing homes down over the last 7 months consecutively. In August 2022, sales dipped to their lowest level. However, listings have dropped rapidly too. Many homeowners who locked in low rates for 30 years are reluctant to put their home on the market and switch to higher rates. Makes complete sense. As of September, the number of home listings across the U.S. was 42.6% lower than pre-pandemic averages from 2017 to 2019. So, just wanted to broadly brush what the conditions are. The whole Fed, like, this isn't solving anything about affordable housing or anything. It's actually making it
Worse.
more expensive.
Yeah.
Because the price is coming down, yet there's nothing.
The interest rate is the counterbalance to that.
Yep.
The price going down.
Yep. That pent up demand is still there.
Right.
It's still there.
Kind of speaks again to, like, back to laser scanning. You're probably going to have a lot of people who are, like they say in the article, reluctant to sell. Well, if you're reluctant to sell, and you start having babies and stuff, or moving in the parents or something like that.
Yep.
Or your job is fully remote. Whatever. Start your own business. Like, you're gonna need space.
Yeah.
Probably gonna have to remodel.
Yep.
You're gonna sit and look at that kitchen. You're gonna hate it.
Yeah. Exactly. Their only solution was to put your money in commercial real estate.
Did they say that?
Yeah, go down.
Oh, a better way to buy a property.
Yeah.
Prime commercial real. Let's see here. Amid hot inflation and the uncertain economy, real estate moguls are still finding ways to effectively invest their millions. Of course, they are. Prime commercial real estate, for example, has outperformed the S&P over a 25-year period. No kidding. With the help of new platforms, these kind of opportunities are now available to retail investors, not the ultra-rich. Meaning, you can invest in like a REIT, pretty much.
Yep. So here's the title again. Housing affordability is deteriorating faster. Here are 2 ways to buck that trend.
Love it.
How is it? It's not even related. Get your logic together.
Hey, Yahoo Finance. Well, I'm glad you clickbaited us into that.
Yep. Good article. That's all I have. We don't have any ARE Jeopardy or anything like that. We don't even have...
No Nick with Nick Reads.
That's too bad.
So we hope you like this episode. If you like this episode, you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, leave us a positive comment. If you're listening on iTunes, we always appreciate those 5-star reviews. We will see you next week.